state agencies that typically fund these projects. But I'm gung ho for it. There are some real problems, but this stage of the rail trail took what, 12 years? Yeah. So if we start now, maybe we'll be going all the way up to State College in another dozen years.
Okay. Do we have any rebuttals or add-ons? No. Okay. The next question, and Mr. Booth, you will start when I ask this question. All right. Earlier tonight, we heard about tensions between local government leaders. Do the county commissioners have a role in getting officials to work together for the good of the county citizens? If so, how would you help address this?
I'm not sure that the county commissioners have a role. It's time for adults, as I heard earlier, to sit down in a room and work out their differences. We do have a mediation group in Union County, and if mediation is needed, then we should go to the mediators. As I hope all of you understand, counties have a responsibility given to them by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it's in the county code book that explains that. And municipalities have their own code book, and county commissioners do not have authority over municipal leaders. They are elected officials and need to step up and behave like adults.
If I understood your question correctly, Janice, this wasn't just about the TIF between East Buffalo Township and Lewisburg. It's just a broader question. And one of the things that I've heard from the county commissioners is that states don't even try to pull the municipalities together because they view that as the county impinging on their authority. And yet, I've always worked collaboratively. I had 15 years at City Council of Governments where 11 counties had commissioners and private citizens appointed that came together to be able to identify, discuss, and work through common issues that they had. I'd love to see something like that here in Union County. I'd love to have a couple of times a year that elected officials, local elected officials, came together. And a good place to do that would be, I think, the Union County Government Center. It could be just simply a forum to air issues. Just know that there was a place that you could come. Just rub elbows to talk about things as opposed to fighting about things. I'd like to see it. It's something that I would work for, and I would hope that others in the community would like to see it too.
I think ideally you have a carrot and a stick, but in this instance, we don't really have either of those things. However, going back to the earlier question about polarization, one of the nice things about considering joining the Union County Commissioners is the legacy. They have the backing like adults, working in a collegial way. They're not fighting in the newspapers. So if we're simply setting an example that, yes, we've got differences of opinion, yes, we come from different places, but we can work together like adult human beings, then maybe eventually people have a harder time with that. We'll see. There's a better way.
We just love to see all your politicians act like adults. And I just be honest with you. There's actually a theory in economics called the Coase theorem, where essentially if it's a smaller type deal and it's to take the government out of it and just basically have two people who negotiate their own deal. And what that requires is you check your ego at the door, sit down, look somebody eye to eye, and just talk it out. Like I said, the legacy of the Union County Board of Commissioners has been very, very strong from a bipartisan, collegial way, and I don't see any reason for that to stop.
Okay, I have one more question and then, of course, your final statements. I would like to ask you all to forego the rebuttal and add-on for these things, because unfortunately technology has intervened again and we have battery issues. So let me ask you the next question, and Ms. Richards, you will answer that. Begin with that question, okay? The impending sale of the Great Streams property offers some interesting challenges. What do you see happening with the proceeds of that sale?
As I understand it, the sale, are you talking about the current sale that took place with Moran purchasing the Target private property? Is that what you're talking about?
This, it says the impending sale of the Great Streams property.
Okay. The question is not clear, but what I understand, and Preston's going to be able to answer this much more thoroughly, and Jeff too, because he's on the industrial board, I believe. But what's happened is that it's been a private sale of the private property there between Target and Moran. There is public land that is owned there at the Commonwealth, and that is definitely part of the county's responsibility to promote and to build upon. I think that because we now have new activity happening at Great Streams Common, that is progress. And that just because we're going to have action there, I think it bodes very well for other activities to be happening there that are more under the county's property. Also, rail coming into that property. Right now, industrial parks that have rail access are the coveted parks. There are industrial parks all over our state and all over our country that aren't filled. But we have great location, we've got great property, and we have the potential for rail access there. That's a winner. We'll just keep going.
So this is where it's tough on the voters to try to figure out who to vote for. And this situation is a perfect example of, hopefully you choose somebody who's a good problem solver. Because obviously it's very exciting. Moran gets things done. If they bought this property, they're going to build something there and they're going to make things happen. But they also got it at a very, very cheap price. And it also is situated in such a place that they could essentially block access to the rest of the property depending on how the rail line comes through. This is where the county has a protective role to play. We have to protect our taxpayers' investment and make sure that the changes that are made to the Moran property don't interfere with the ability of the county to develop the rest of the property. We also have to make sure that they don't start unloading property at a real cheap price and competing with the county. So, you know, these are things that we have some control over. We have to keep a sharp eye on. Yes, excitement, go develop, but do it in a way that we can sustain.
Yeah, that particular sale is a private sale between Target and Moran, so none of those proceeds will be coming to the county except through taxes. And I'm thrilled, as someone who wants to expand our tax base, to see some businesses go in there and some opportunity. And I really do hope that's a catalyst. You know, I would love for the county not to own any property in Great Streams Commons. And we're going to figure out a way to hopefully make that not happen, so that we can, you know, we can reap the benefits, but we don't have the millions and millions of dollars worth of taxes that are still sitting up there.
So yeah, that sale that you saw in the paper is private, but it does open up the door. There are some negotiations going on for the county selling other real estate property up there as we sit here and speak. Will we get a sale? You know, we've all been waiting a long time for a sale, and we shall see. Whenever that money, whenever the county sells real estate up there, there is a mortgage obligation against that property and a debt of about $8 million plus or minus a little.